We are live now.
We are,
all right.
And we're welcomed by Sean Foy,
Welcome
one of my favorite people in the industry, dude. It's great to have you here, buddy.
Thank you, dude.
I think I've been dreaming about this episode for a while now.
We've been talking about it for a while.
When I would think about the podcast, I'd be like, oh man, I can't wait to have Sean on.
Oh, really?
It's gonna be
Way
sick.
back.
Yeah,
Oh,
way
sick.
back,
Yeah,
dude.
I do these all right, dude. You know, I'm pretty comfortable
Dude,
talking, dude. You know,
You're probably one of the few tattooers I know that have done a fuck ton, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
it's not too like a lot. I think a lot of people freak out. You know, like,
Yeah. What do you mean, like be like nervous to be on?
Yeah. And I don't. You know, it's the same shit that we would talk about at the shop, kind of. You know, like
Yeah.
Just the banter.
It's
just
probably
that other people are gonna hear it. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
all, bro. Just like wear some clothes that don't look fucked up. And don't.
I
say
love your shirt,
anything.
by the way, bro.
Thank you,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, the Crayola one,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's on brand.
one of my
Yeah.
Forero, bro, 'cause-
I felt like I was like,
sure.
you know what? Well, Nikki had told me that she like she thinks I'm like hot in the baseball tees, so it's like got the big.
Oh, those are.
So
those
I
are
was like, oh, okay.
goated.
And then I was like, you know what? All the shit that he's been drawing, like, I want to wear this one, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I was like, oh, yeah, it'll go with the jacket with the
Yeah.
Peralta shit on the
Yeah.
back, dude. You know?
Yeah. And then lately he's been doing like where he'll do like that style as graffiti
Yeah.
on like broken walls and
Yeah,
shit, and then
yeah.
he'll throw like these hyper realistic
God,
birds.
bro.
He's nasty,
Stupid
bro.
realistic.
So sick.
dude.
He's nasty, man.
He's one of the illest, dude.
When was the last time you went to Art Basel, dude? Or have you ever been?
Yeah, I didn't go this year. I went last year for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The one year I went down there, it was the year that we were there, and they had went to the casino, and I was like, nah, dude, I'm gonna lose, dude. I don't have that kind of luck, dude.
You don't like
know?
gambling,
I'm the
dude?
same way.
Well, I do if I know that I had money aside for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I know that's lost money. Dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not like I know I'm not gonna win, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
And,
me,
I
dude,
need to have like a little stash aside where I'm willing to lose.
to
Yeah,
lose
I'll be
this.
okay with
this.
it.
That's
and
hard
then
to
I'm
even
cool,
mentally
yeah.
tell yourself, yo, I
Yeah.
got $1,000 here. I'm
Yeah.
cool if I lose this.
Yeah, that's
That's-
and then like knowing that too, because I've been to Vegas and shit a bunch of times, and you're
Uh-huh.
like, okay, man. I also got to remember, like, if say I have 1,000, right, and if I blow through like 500 real quick, okay, take it easy,
Yeah.
walk a couple
Yeah.
laps, dog, like,
You humble yourself.
or else you're gonna be 1,000 in the hole in the first hour, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh man.
I don't really have a personality that struggles with addiction,
Yeah.
but the high that you get from gambling. When
See,
you're
I don't
winning,
get that one, dude.
oh my
That one
God.
doesn't grab
I get
me,
excited.
dude.
I get giddy as fuck when I get money off people, bro. Like,
Yeah.
man, you ever experienced anything like that before?
Yes. So, yes, to both of your points. So,
Mm-hmm.
I was in a trip recently to Puerto Rico, and I had they gave us some casino vouchers.
Yeah.
The resort had a casino in there,
Yeah.
and I ended up flipping the vouchers, and I was on top.
Yeah.
And it was my first time ever going to a casino. I lied. I played slots before.
Yeah.
Lost horribly, but and I
Be like
knew
that,
then,
yeah.
and even just from betting and things like that, like I have the worst luck with gambling,
Fuck, yeah.
and I always lose.
Mm-hmm.
I've won one raffle in my life. Like I just don't have that kind
I
of
don't
luck.
have it either, dude.
So I
don't,
think
man.
the fear of losing money inhibits me from feeling that high.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because like I'll win and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm kind of having a good time. That was cool, but
Yeah.
I don't think I felt it as much because they were vouchers.
Yeah.
But had it been my own money fully, I'd probably have been
We've
like,
been a
okay,
little
I'm
like,
good,
whoa,
dude.
whoa,
Yeah,
chill, dude.
yeah.
Well, I always looked at it like this, like, okay, like sex addiction, I get that. You know, you like pay a hooker, and 9 times out of 10, you get what you paid for, right? Same thing with like drugs, like you give the guy the money. Every now and then you get sold some fugazi shit, but mostly you're getting drugs and you're
Yes.
gonna get high. Gambling, you're like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking maybe, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, pretty sure this is all about that dopamine blast.
Yeah.
Which I love,
if
dude.
if I pay this guy for drugs, it's pretty guaranteed.
For sure yeah.
This gambling shit, You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
It's
You know
not-
what I mean? Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not worth it sometimes,
And
man.
I think it's interesting that you brought that up, man, because you told me about your time starting off and tattooing.
Yeah.
You've been tattooing for 20 years now?
almost, dude.
Almost
yeah,
20
it's like
years.
I started apprenticing in 07.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? It's like been like 18 years.
I remember 07, dude.
Gosh, dude. I graduated 2010.
Yeah,
dude.
2010,
So
dude.
I graduated
Put
high
it
school in 02, dude.
Ooh.
So
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
I was a senior like when 9/11 happened. I was like,
Damn.
Wow.
fuck. Yeah, it was like right there, dude. You saw I saw the second tower come down and shit.
What?
Like,
Did
yeah,
you,
yeah,
when
yeah.
you heard about that, did you head over there to check it out, bro?
Well, my cousin's husband died. He was on the 98th floor or whatever. Like he either got like incinerated when the explosion happened, that big one you saw, like on the impact or whatever.
Yeah.
Or he was probably one of the people that jumped.
Oh my god.
You know what, man?
So that, and then like my one uncle worked at the AT&T, the big headquarters there. It's like right near the police plaza. You'd go to the World Trade Center and then you'd get out and you'd walk, like a quarter mile. It's right there. It's right near the Brooklyn Banks, actually, dude. It's a famous skate spot. But everyone's cell phones were in use, so you couldn't get through to anybody because everybody's trying to call any family they had, dude.
Right.
And my buddy Marcus and I, because his dad or his brother, somebody was working in there, and we were like, well, if we can just hop on the highway and drive to Hoboken, maybe we'll be able to hear them or we'll see them or something. We'll see one of them, right? And we couldn't even get into Hoboken, man. Like you got to Hoboken's a town like right across the water from Manhattan. It's like right by where the Holland Tunnel is, right? So it's right there. And we were probably a few miles back past Jersey City, and it's gridlock traffic. Everything's shut down, and all you can see is like a giant black smoking hole in Lower Manhattan, dude. Yeah, it was fucking crazy, dude.
Take
and it was like that for days, dude. For days, like
Yeah,
there
I
was
was
just
just about to
black
ask.
How
smoke,
eerie, dude.
dude.
How were you
know
feeling,
what?
bro?
Dude, it was fucked up because like everybody who lived there, you either lost like a family member or one of your homies did, or like nobody where I lived didn't know someone directly that died. You know what I mean?
Everyone was
Like
affected.
everybody, like I had a couple of kids I went to high school with, like one dude, both his parents died.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, crazy shit. I think his dad was like in the tower, like, and it fell, and I think the mom was like getting off the PATH train, which is like the subway from New Jersey into Manhattan, and the building came down when she was there, or she could have. I mean, who knows? She could have been like half a block away, and the shit
Right.
came. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
heavy, man.
yeah, and then like it was weird because like I went to college in Manhattan the year after that, and it was like a weird time, man. Like, because I grew up in that area my whole life, and it never looked like this. Like, so the Trade Center's gone. That's been there my whole life. I skateboarded there. It's just there. It's just like New York. It's you
never
know,
think
yeah,
that was gonna
like
happen, man. Yeah.
no, there's no way I'm think this shit's ever gonna be
Right.
gone, dude. You know, like, and that's gone. And then I started at the School of Visual Arts in Manhattan the following fall, and the city was different, man. Like there was first off, there was military like everywhere, all over. Like every subway station, there was like armed military.
Yeah.
The news was always like scary as fuck, dude. Like they had this thing, I don't know if it's the real name of it, but we called it the Danger Rainbow, and it would be on the bottom of the news. Like, remember in COVID, they had the death counter, like scaring the fuck out of you in the corner, you know? This shit would be on your, like I said, I don't know if they had it here in Florida, but definitely New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Philly, they had this shit on the news all the time. And it was like a meter on the bottom, and if it was like blue, green, purple, there was no detected terror threat. If it was like yellow, orange, or red, you had to like be alert because like some shit they thought was gonna pop off. And dude, they kept that shit in like orange, yellow, and red for like 2 years. They were just because they wanted to have a war, dude. You know what I mean? So they like they had us all juiced up and shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, fast forward a couple years later, Colin Powell is shaking the bag of fake anthrax, and we're going to war in Iraq, dude, It was crazy.
Damn, bro.
And then, like, you're going so I'm a freshman at an art school while this is going on. So there's mad crazy protests like that actually like are for real, not like dissing the shit that's going on now, but like this is whether or not we're going to war with another country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was different.
It was so patriotic.
This,
I mean,
yeah,
we
like
are
that's
now,
the
but
thing. No, we're not patriotic now, dude. If you saw how America was post 9/11, dude,
okay.
it was, dude. I've never seen I can't believe we're at the point we're at right now. After that being like my first experience as like an adult man, right? You know what I mean? Like, dude, no one gave a fuck about fucking race or who gives a shit. Like, are you American? No? All right. You know, that's all we care about. Like,
Yeah.
and also in that time you had like Eminem on stage or 50 Cent. Like that shit was.
It was a different social.
Yeah,
climate,
it was a
100%.
different thing. Like
you're referring to society's obsession with
race and
stereotyping
gender and all that
okay.
shit that's going on right now. Like that wasn't even like people. It just wasn't even a thing. Like I mean, I'm sure it wasn't dope if you were Arab. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure if you were at a mosque, it wasn't dope. But like everybody else was pretty much good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
So that was interesting too, man, and yeah, I know it was a wild time to be living in New York City, and it was also like this crazy. It was a fucking cool time, dude. Like. You had just enough technology that you could find out about more shit, but not so much where that you could do it all at home. Like you could look up where there was these dope records, but you had to go down to the village and find the little record store. Everything was still kind of adventurous and shit, dude. And you know, there'd be like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
The
There was
magic
just,
of the early 2000s.
yeah, it was really cool, man. It was really cool. Like,
dude, when
it was really cool, man.
Yeah.
The art that was going on, the
Yeah.
music scene was. I don't
Yeah.
care what kind of music you listen to, it was fire,
Yeah.
bro.
Shows were different.
And even if you were, it didn't like. I was real into like underground hip hop at the time, so like every weekend I was at some small club in Manhattan seeing my favorite MCs or whatever. But then we might be like, you know, no one's really playing this weekend. Let's go to CBGB's and see who's playing over there.
That's
And
cool.
there was just so much cool shit. And you'd be like down. I remember I was down in Washington Square Park, like smoking weed. And Mos Def just showed up and started battling people right there. It was fucking
so
crazy,
cool.
dude. It's
Sick,
crazy.
sick.
Or like I would go into Fat Beats, the record store, and you know, look at vinyls and shit, or buy T-shirts. It was like the most famous hip hop like record store like in New York, right? And I remember like going in there and you just like randomly run into like your favorite rappers there, just
That's
like
cool.
buying. Yeah, it was crazy. It was cool, and there was like stuff going on with graffiti. The fine art world was in a. It wasn't. There was like another element now that was involved that was more starting into the street art thing that led to like Crayola and Juxtaposed magazine and all that kind. That was like beginning. Motherfuckers started wearing tight pants. You know what I mean? Like
we do know what you mean,
I
bro.
saw I saw the first bitch wearing UGG boots that I ever see. Like, you know what I mean? In like 01 or 02, and I'm like, what the fuck's that bitch have on her feet? This fake Eskimo ass bitch, dude. You know what I mean?
She's wearing
like, what
dogs.
is this fucking stupid ass white girl
Getting
doing,
ruined
dude?
in
You
the
know?
snow.
And then I remember seeing dudes wearing like, because there wasn't skinny jeans, they were wearing girl jeans.
I wore
dude.
girl
Right.
jeans
Yeah,
before
they were
skinny
buying
jeans
girl
came out.
jeans.
07.
And that was like, you
Yeah.
know, but this is like, we're talking, this is 02, 03. People are
Oh, okay,
pioneering this. Like,
Yeah.
this
Okay.
isn't, you know, we're talking about like, there's still dudes wearing the hugest shit ever. Baggy
Jinko jeans?
shit. No. That was
No.
more like,
Hot Topic had those big black
yeah,
parachute
there
chain
wasn't
pants and
that
stuff.
shit wasn't like as popular like by me necessarily. It was more like the urban shit, like Echo and shit like that. Because I remember I bought my first Echo T-shirt from Mark Echo on when I was going to court when I was 15. My dad was taking me to court for graffiti or some shit. I think it was. I think I got like a graft charge or something like that. And he's taking me to court, and I remember I was 15 years old, and Mark Echo was on Broad Street in Elizabeth, like selling shirts out of a backpack himself.
Sick.
And I bought a T-shirt with like a rhino and a spray paint can on it, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like all that stuff was just happening, dude. And and like even when I started tattooing a few years later, the only show that had been on was Miami Ink, and it had only been on for like 2 years. So it was different, dude. Like it was still had like danger to it. Like like tattooers were not soft, dude. Like they were not at all, dude. Like dude, people would get their ass beat in the shop, like shit. Like it was crazy, but it was like exciting though. There was so much. People were doing some things were getting broken, dude. Like. Paul Booth's shop was right across the water from me, dude. So I went and got some of my first good tattoos at his shop. And the stuff that like they were doing, and like Robert Hernandez was showing up there and freehanding this crazy shit, and like Little Dragon did this on my hand there. But it was like, I'm gonna say it, dude. It's cooler than what's going on now.
Right.
And I gotta say that I would still take the tattoos that were coming out of that shop and that era over shit that's going on right now. I'd rather get those tattoos.
Which says a lot, bro, because I feel like tattooing has progressed a lot.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Technically wise, right?
Here's the thing, right? Like, those guys were all freehanding that shit, dude.
Of course, it's sick.
You know what I mean? Crazy. Like, that was all from their brain, their imagination. There was no, like, oh, you got that reference from Pinterest page 3 of the skulls.
Pinterest probably wasn't even a thing.
No, it wasn't. There wasn't even fucking MySpace, dude. Oh, dude. No, there was MySpace. So, that was it, though. That was it.
How were you getting put on to Paul Booth and Robert Hernandez, all these guys, without social media, bro?
Well, no, everyone had websites, dude, right? Okay. And you had the magazines and
shit. I forgot about websites, dude.
So they had websites, dude. Yeah. But MySpace was happening, but you had to search to find people. And it wasn't like now where like tattooing was a popular thing. It was not a popular thing.
And you're getting fed content from, and you know, if you like tattoos, you know, social media now will pick up on that and feed you. Dude, you had to
artists. You could go on like a quest. It was cool. Yeah. It was really cool, man. I'm not gonna front like no diss to what's going on now at all. Like, dude, tattooing is crazy now, but the originality of what people were doing, like every other week, you know, you would check the Last Rites MySpace or their website, and there'd be some shit. You're like, where the fuck did they even think of that, dude? Mm-hmm. Like, nothing had looked like that before. Man, it was just so creative and trippy and surreal, and and then like after that, the portrait thing got really popular, and that was impressive, but it, in a lot of ways, I feel like it kind of put us on a path to like have us being less creative.
Black and gray.
It doesn't matter. Like
realism.
just realism, because we went from. Listen, people were doing portraits, and there was a few people that were really good. Like Bob Terrell was, you know, it was incredible.
He's one of the pioneers, right?
Yeah, him and like Nico Hurtado and Mike DeVries, and these guys were crazy, you know. But your average tattooer that was going for it, like really, that wanted to be more than the guy that had a couple appointments, and you know, like the people that wanted to try to shoot for the stars, you know. They were fucking creative, dude. They were sitting at home and drawing and trying to find inspiration from all kind of stuff. And because we weren't so interconnected, things had time to like marinate a little bit before everybody would see them. So when you would see someone trying something new, it was like new. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it had a little bit of refinedness to it because they were able to work on some of it like in private. They were able to like cultivate that like by themselves, like not having it immediately blasted out to the world.
Right.
Like, so there was like time for these people to just like, oh, I have this idea, dude. Let me draw it a bunch first, and maybe I'll paint it a little bit. I'll get a couple of the homies in. We'll do some pieces on them, you know, see if I can do it, see if it's possible. And then like, oh, okay, it is possible. All right, cool. I'll come back in. We'll do another layer on it. And then like, all right, I'll get fucking Joe's really white. We'll get him for the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's real pasty. He'll look good, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then by the time you saw it, they like knew what they were doing with it. You know what I mean? And it was fresh. And you'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Like I remember Timmy B came out and he was developing that shit like wherever he was. I think it was in Tennessee at the time. Maybe it was a little before that. But, you know, he had like developed that like in his own private little space. And like the people around him saw it. But we, the masses, hadn't seen it yet until it was like ready. You know what I mean? Like I would relate it to like back then, people were able to have the privacy and the time to develop something like you develop an album. Now you're dropping shit right to SoundCloud, boom, right to whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's
someone else is taking a picture of what you made.
Yeah,
it's already uploaded,
already going for it.
Yeah. So the impression lasted a lot longer.
Yeah,
because it had time for building.
Yep.
Building the culture.
And it was
behind
harder
it too.
for someone to bite you because you had already been refined it a little bit. So by the time someone was trying to jack your style, it was already too late, dude. Yeah, you couldn't, because they already were nice at it, dude. You weren't going to catch up to that dude so easy, you know?
Yep. And biting culture was less forgiving. Sorry to cut you off, but I feel like biting was less forgiving back then.
Oh no, you get your ass beat.
Yeah, like if you got caught biting, you get your ass beat, or you know, people wouldn't even fuck with you, or you know, you're just a phony.
Yeah,
probably because there's so much biting now. It's kind of hard to pinpoint where it originally came from, right? Would you say so?
Yeah, dude. It's man, it's biter central. I'm surprised people still have teeth in their mouth from how much they're chomping down on other motherfuckers' shit, dude. You know. Yeah. I'm surprised these aren't some denture ass tattooers, dude. You know,
but like everybody seems to be okay with it. Nobody calls each other out. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't seem.
It's because it's soft now, dude. You know?
Yeah. Which is your biggest critique of tattooing today?
Yeah, but it won't be that way, dude. Because look, the great exodus is happening, dude. You know what I mean? Like everybody that hopped in here in 2020, like I can draw. I can trace a fucking Pikachu and shit. Like, all right, buddy. Now those stimmy checks been gone for a while, dude. How you doing? You're going back to work at Ace Hardware, right? That's what I
shops
thought,
are falling off.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
Yeah,
That's true,
it's
yeah.
like, get the fuck out of here, dude. So, you weren't built for this shit in the first place, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it is, dude. Like, this shit was. People came in here in that time thinking this was like rock star shit. When I started tattooing, this was a fucking blue collar job.
Well,
dude.
Miami
you know
Ink, all those shows made it seem that way, bro.
But when you got in there back in the day, you pretty immediately knew that it wasn't that. You know what I mean? Like you knew, like you were a craftsman, dude, and it looked like that more because you're having to. Now people progress really fast because the machines are so crazy and they're so easy to work with. They're so intuitive. You're getting a wireless pen.
Yeah.
You know, back then you had to learn because your machine's going to go out of tune mid-tattoo, all that shit, dude. Like your first 3 years, you were learning to not suck at tattoos and you're learning how to like almost be like a fucking machine builder, dude, you know? And it was cool, dude. I liked it, dude.
I never got to experience that side of the industry, dude.
It was really cool, dude. It was really fucking cool. And, you know, I'm not saying that I would necessarily want to go back to that. Like, I do like having wireless.
You're not using coils, dude, right? Yeah, bro.
I could, though. I totally could. And there's times that I, like, think about it, especially for black and gray shit. It would be nice.
Really?
Yeah, there's things you can do with, man, there's something about, like, you get the right set of coils and, like, when you put a round shader in a certain quill with a little bit of bounce or a liner, and like the little kind of textures and things you can do just with that, the way that a coil machine is with the give, like it's cool shit you can do. And I still think for outlines, if I ever was going to start doing any kind of work where I was like outlining for real again, I would go back and get a coil liner for sure. For lines, always for lines.
Right. Know? I was telling him, I was like, yo, I feel like Sean has that style that you can't put it like in a category. You can't put it in a box.
That's what I'm going for,
like,
dude. Yeah.
I feel like
that's an echo to the time I was just talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that was the number one thing you didn't want to do. Like you didn't want to be able to categorize your shit. You know what I mean? Because that kind of also meant that you were already a knockoff of somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if you did hop in, say you were gonna hop in Biomech, that shit better look different than Guy Atchison. It better look different than Aaron Kane. It better look, you know what I mean? Like, or else people are like you would get laughed out of here. It wouldn't even matter if it was perfect.
Yeah.
But if it looked like one of Guy's tattoos, you're like, oh, that's cool, dude. Why don't you go home and work out something that looks like you, dude? You know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
And those dudes would tell you that shit back in the day. They'd be like, yeah, man, that's, it's really good. It's well tattooed, but like, don't you want to do you? So don't you want to try to find who you are, dude? You know?
Right.
Tell me, with all that said, with how tattoo culture was back in the day, art culture, how did that look like for you getting into your first apprenticeship, 07?
Yeah, so, dude, I was a fuck up, man. Like, I went to art school for a little bit, and I wound up having to leave. It's a whole nother story. But then I was just kind of floating through life, man. I tried to go to Kane University for teaching for a little bit, and then because I had criminal charges, they pretty much flat out told me, like, look, dude, no school district's ever gonna hire you, dude. Like, you got drug charges, dog. Like, they're not gonna let you work around kids. I was like, oh, true. So then I was just like a fucking waiter and a bartender, and I was like just drinking a lot and doing coke, and you know what I mean, I didn't even think I'd be alive till 30. You know what I mean? Wow. I was like pretty cool with that. I was like, all right, well,
wow, man.
This is just, I'm going to be one of those dudes, like I'm going to live fast. I'm going to die young. I didn't even expect to be here right now, Then I lived with this kid who was a tattooer, and we had like a house party at our apartment, and the people from his shop came, and I had some paintings and like some stuff from my black book from graffiti, like in little frames in the house, some stuff hung up. And the lady who owned the shop is this chick called L.A., and she's this short little lesbian, angry ass chick. And she's like, who did that shit right there? I was like, I did, Who did that right there? I did. Like, what's your fucking shit, Like, what's your deal? You know what I mean? And she was like, yeah, you should come by the shop and like work the front desk. And I'm like, well, I don't got fucking anything else going on. You telling me you'll pay me to hang out with Mike and shit and wear jeans all day? Yeah, that's fire, dude. I'll go do that shit. So I did that for a little bit, and I was waiting tables and shit too. And then after a little bit, like, I kind of got the feeling they were going to ask me to apprentice maybe, And they were like, yeah, so you're going to quit your job and then get a job where you're only going to wait tables at lunch, which means instant poverty, dude. Like, lunch tables, you're walking away with like $20, $30, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, well, it's the only thing I can do, you know what I mean?
But you knew there was a path to something more.
It could be, could be. And I didn't know. I really didn't know. This is also in like the era of like tattooers like hiding cash in their mattresses and shit, dude. They were like, you didn't know how well anyone was doing. You had no clue. You knew like Philip Liu and Paul Booth were doing well, but like that's extreme. Those are extreme examples, you know. Like I didn't know how like a regular dude was doing. I didn't know they were doing okay,
Tattoos were still very taboo back then, man.
Yeah, big time, dude. I had to cover up just like a little name here on my forearm to work at TGI Fridays, bro. Yeah.
Is that where you were waiting?
Yeah, dude. That's where I found cocaine, dude. Was that job, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the roughest things I ever found in my life, dude. But yeah, you didn't really know. So I was like, well, dude, and I remember being like, look, man, if I could even do like one thing a week where like I can like say I made some art, and I remember just like seeing the look on someone's face when the tattooer would like kill it, and how stoked the client was, and I remember like, man, that would be sick just to like watch someone feel that way about what I did, you know, and you know, I just knew I couldn't do well in like a regular kind of office setting, and I wasn't handy enough to be like a mechanic or to go do construction, because at the time I started tattooing, I had a chance to go work for Con Edison, which is like a big electric power gas company for New York City. It's a good job, man. Like, yeah, like if you get a good job with Con Edison, man, you do like 20, 30 years on there, you're retiring and doing super well, sick pension, like everything. Nice. And I remember it was like, you know, my dad had like kind of pulled some strings where I could, like, he's like, dude, if you just say the word, I can get you the job, you know, or I could try this. And I was like, I gotta try this, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
that's so cool.
I gotta try it. And there was no like, there wasn't even any examples to know if it would be a career, you know? But I just remember being like, dude, this is the only thing I think maybe I can be happy. And you know me, I'm not really like, I don't need like a lot of shit. I don't need like a lot of fancy shit. I never really cared too much for any of that. Like I don't want a big house. I'm not really like into fancy cars or anything. But I need to create stuff. I have to. I never could stop doing that, you know? So I was like, man, if I can make enough to live, and like, maybe if I could even make enough to like have one kid and like a small little house somewhere, anything like that, dude, man, that would be amazing. That's you know what I mean? That would be I'll be really happy, dude. And yeah, that shit happened, dude. You know,
how long did you apprentice for or work the front desk before they were like, hey man,
like 2 months, something like that.
They took me. They wasted no time, bro.
Yeah,
2 months, and
they were planning it from the rip.
Yeah.
They just wanted to see if I was a pussy or not. Really, I think is what,
right. They wanted to find out who you were.
They were raw back then, dude. Like I used to get hot coffee thrown on my face if I made it wrong. They covered me in syrup and feathers and dropped me in front of the projects in North Newark and took my phone and my wallet, and they told me adapt, overcome, and improvise. Something never goes right in a tattoo. You got to figure this shit out.
Right.
So figure this shit out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I had to like, dude, I'm in the hood. Newark, New Jersey is fucked up, man. And you know, I'm in the hood, and I'm like, fuck, I'm covered in syrup and fucking feathers. Like this is like my homies can't even come pick me. I can't sit in anyone's car like this, dude. Like the fuck, dog.
Yeah.
So I wound up like finding a way to the bus that I knew went back towards my crib, because Newark is on the other side of the water from Manhattan, so it's like a hub for all the buses go everywhere. So I knew if I could figure out where the line was that I had to go home. And I remember like I had no money, anything, and I remember like telling the bus driver like, dude,
help me out.
Like, look, man, look at my skin. I'm not in a spot where I need to be right now, dude. Like, I won't sit on the seats, anything, please. Like, I can't be out here like this, dude. Like, come on, you know, dude. And he was like, all right, dude, just stand up and hold on to the rail.
Good
touch
guy.
Yeah, he could have been an asshole and be like,
yeah.
Fuck,
no, and it was late at night, too, dude.
Okay.
Like, I think he, like, saw what was going on, and he's like, something bad might happen to this fucking kid, dude. You know, and I was a kid. I was like 24 or something.
Oh my gosh,
you know?
yeah.
I was young,
baby
dude.
face too, probably.
Yeah, dude, I was a little skinny fucker, you know. And,
weird, dude.
Yeah, dude. And so I wound up getting home and everything. And I used to like, I would trace out the flash. Then you trace it onto cardstock. And New School was really big then. So you had to trace it and then thick out the lines like where they needed to be. And if I made a mistake, this chick would punch me in the neck or the head. And you can't do shit. You have to take it.
Was that L.A.? Or?
Yeah, dude.
Gosh.
Dude. So she
really was
me.
an angry lesbian, dude.
Yeah, dude. She was mad. Dude, she was one of them chicks that would like pick a fight with the sky if she didn't like a shade of blue that day, dude. And she would just ride me and torment me. And then I got locked up while I was there. And for a fucking warrant for graffiti. I was like drunk coming back from Manhattan. I was making like a bit of a scene, just how drunk people do. And the cops like came and told me to chill, and I chilled for like 0.5 seconds, and then I was getting rowdy again. And he went to like put his hand on my shoulder, like, "Come on, buddy." And I didn't know who it was. I just bugged out and started flailing and shit. Oh, and then they yoked me up, you know what I mean? And I wound up going to jail. And like, I'm not gonna use my fucking phone call to call the shop, dude. I was trying to call my dad. I'm in Newark. I'm going to jail, dude. I want to fucking get out of there, man. And needless to say, like when I finally got back around, there was another apprentice there. Actually, do you know that dude Nico Perez? Ink by Nico, with all those crazy negatives and shit.
Sounds familiar.
You would know him, dude. He was the apprentice like right after me. Okay. So that shop produced like several people that became something.
Nice.
That's a cool
and it was
story,
like a hole in the wall in Elizabeth, New Jersey, super small. There was crackheads and it was like a urban brothel, like with like street hookers that were like right down the road and shit. And there was like this local crackhead that would like always have like, he'd huff paint. So he'd come up and be like a smear of like chrome paint all over his face and shit all the time, you know. But there was no tattoo shops in nice towns then. It was always in the hood. Like most of the people that tattoo now that are new would not be tattooing now just because of where the tattoo shops had to be back then.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't even go to that neighborhood, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they're not a Universal.
No, it wasn't, and like a lot of like regular people weren't really getting tattoos back then.
Right. Yeah.
It's just so acceptable now.
Yeah.
Accessible.
Yeah.
Man, I remember having to be so low key when I was really young, and I would look at tattoo magazines. I was always intrigued by tattoos since I was very young, and I'd have to like hide it from my parents.
Yeah, dude.
And it was just
because they would think you're gonna turn out to be a fuck up.
Yeah, no, 100%.
For sure, dude. Yeah.
It was just a different times, man.
So how did dude? I'm curious about how your dad felt because he was offering you a job, right? And then you decided tattooing.
Look, man, I was in such a bad way, man. You know, like with the drugs and the alcohol, you know, like that they were like, dude. Anything that was positive, they were like, fuck it. Like when I came home from jail, dude, like they let me I lived in their basement and shit, and they let me like tattoo people from the fucking court mandated rehab I had to go to like at the crib, and because they knew that if I didn't do something, I was gonna die out there. I was gonna, you know, and I was good with it. Like this was the only shot I had to, you know what I mean? Like you know,
it was what was keeping you out of the streets.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. And it's not like I grew up like in some project building or something, dude. We were like lower middle class, like regular working family, dude. But just a long line of like all the dudes in my family just had a problem. Like cocaine took us out, dude. You know what I mean? Like everybody did. And I was just in that, you know, like, and when you're like an artist, I didn't like fit in. I wasn't like a cool kid at school. Like the shit I liked was not cool. Like graffiti wasn't cool in the 90s, like at school. Like you weren't bagging bitches because you were all city,
your composition
dude.
Book
No, dude. Skateboarding wasn't cool, dude. Yeah, like people were fucking with me for that shit, dude, you know? Mm-hmm. Like all that shit. That shit was counterculture, like for real. Yeah. All of it was, dude. So, I didn't fit in regular shit, dude. And that's probably... So later on, when like things started going really well, I know like me and Dimitri Vision didn't handle it very good. I don't think either of us ever expect like magazines having us go to the headquarters and he's tattooing Nick Cannon, I'm tattooing the bitch from the Rob Dyrdek show. Like,
what's her name again? Chanel West Coast.
Post Malone was leaving as I'm coming in the one time, and people are coming up. When they book an appointment with me and they're like, yo, you're Sean Foy, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, I used to smoke crack, bro. Like,
what
the fuck, dude? You know, like...
Those things were going through your head when you were getting
recognized? And I'm like, I can't do this, man. I can't, you know, and I like almost like self-destructed a bunch of times, dude, you know, like a bunch of times, because I'm like, I'm not supposed to.
Out of
I'm
like
not supposed to
self-sabotaging?
lead. Yeah,
Oh,
for sure,
wow.
dude. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to be anyone's role model, dude. Like, I'm not.
Wow.
This is crazy, dude. Like, I'm not even a good guy. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, you know, because you know, and you know, I didn't do. And he, same thing with him, man. He started drinking. Me and him were drinking a lot, dude. And I think a lot of it was like, what the fuck, like. You know, I never thought it was going to be like this. I was going to be happy. Like I said, I was telling you before, I was like, I'm almost getting misty because, like, you know, I wish I'd appreciated it more back then, but I would have been happy, like, just to have a little small house in, like, Bayonne, New Jersey or something. And, like, if I could just have a wife and maybe, like, one kid, I would have been like, wow, I made it, dude.
You would have been
all this
content with
other
so much
shit.
less.
All this other shit was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I get why people like Kurt Cobain and shit, like, lose it.
The
You know what I
pressure,
mean?
it's
Yeah, well, they're
overwhelming,
just,
man.
it's not like what they were there doing that shit for. Like, I would have died happy if like Robert Hernandez knew who I was, right? Yeah. And he does now, so that's cool, you know. But like, I would have been happy with that, dude. Like, I never even wanted regular people on the street to know who I am at all. Like, I didn't want like the chick in Ugg boots to like follow me on fucking something. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want that shit, dude. You know what I mean?
I didn't want to tattoo Chanel West Coast, dude.
No, I didn't, dude, you know? And I remember I almost turned it down, too, and last minute I was like, all right, Sammy, I'll fucking do it.
Dude, you're the reason why, like, when anyone asks, like, oh, do you want to start tattooing celebrities? I'm just like, nah, bro, I've heard it's not it, dude.
No, if you ask a bunch of people, it's really not it, dude.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like, I remember one of my buddies did a portrait on Lenny Kravitz. Ty Harris, he did a portrait on Lenny Kravitz at Bang Bang when it first opened. And I remember he was like telling me about, we're in like a bar in Lower Manhattan. He was telling me about it. And he's like, dude, it was fucking biggest nightmare of my life.
What?
Because it wasn't worth the money. It wasn't worth the exposure. It wasn't worth any of it, dude.
What?
Yeah, dude.
They feel very comfortable to act a certain way, bro.
Well, they don't care about you, dude.
Yeah.
Like when Nick Cannon was getting tattooed by Dimitri, I was right there. And like, you would think in this time you're getting tattooed by one of the fucking illest human beings holding a tattoo machine on the earth. Dimitri Vision in 2015 was one of the biggest swinging dicks on the planet. Like, for real, on the whole earth. And he's from Russia. He grew up in Soviet fucking Russia, dude. And you don't want to ask this guy not even one question. You're just going to talk about yourself the whole time. You know what I mean? Not even like he was a dick or nothing, but it's like you're not even you know, because their world is just them. And it's about them and what they do and whatever you're doing isn't important because you're not them. And I'm good, dude. I'd rather like tattoo the guy that's got like a regular life, dude, and like is stoked to be there, and like I can relate to him about shit.
Feel
dude.
Connected while you're
dude.
Sure.
Like cause what the fuck am I gonna talk about with Nick? I don't even like that shit, dude. Like I don't even wanna I don't want a house with fucking waterfalls and marble shit. I don't want that shit. And I get why you do, like, no diss if that's your thing. Like, totally cool. I get it, you know. But I don't have anything to talk to you about, dude. You know, like, I don't think you smoked crack before, dog. Like, what are we gonna talk about, dude? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have like, and I never like wanted to be like that. Like even like with skateboarding shit, because I was sponsored by a shop and Flow for some board shit for skating when I was young.
That's awesome.
And I didn't care if like I only wanted like the skaters to know me. Like I didn't care if anyone else did. So this weird thing where like regular people give a shit about the things I'm doing in this world is weird to me. You know, it's weird. It's cool. It's cool, and now I'm used to it. But like me trying to do some shit like this back then, I would have been wasted in here, dude. And probably like on a perk or something too, because I couldn't handle this shit, dude. You know, I couldn't handle this shit. It was too much, dude. It was crazy.
What was it about? Because, dude, sometimes when you talk about your younger years, you sounded like you were angry, dude.
Yeah, dude.
What was happening, bro, that you were just like,
well,
dude, going towards drugs and being angry and freaking out on the street and stuff?
Look,
like,
man, I'll be perfectly honest with you, dude. It's not a good look for a young man to be raised by a hyper feminist mother, dude. It's not a good look, dude. Because you're going to grow up like hearing that like dudes are dog shit and fucking, all this kind of shit. It is not a confidence building environment if you're a young man. Do you know what I'm saying, dude? So that was my mom. Like, she didn't even take my dad's last name. She had to do the Quinn-Foy because she's boss bitch or whatever, dude, lame. You know what I mean? Like, I'm your son. Hyper obsessed with making it and being the career woman and shit. So I didn't have that. My dad worked all the time. He was a alcoholic and a drug addict, so I didn't see him early in my life. And then when he wasn't like that, he was just working all the time, at like 6 or 7 days a week working. So I didn't have anyone showing me how to do anything.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then, like, I didn't fit in with anybody, dude. Like, I wasn't terrible at sports, but I wasn't, like, good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was good at this shit. And no one, when you're young, man, no one gives a fuck about the kind of talents that I have right now, right? Yeah. They don't care about that shit, dude. That's not getting you pussy in 1997, dog. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not, dude. It's not. So I didn't fit in with that, and I didn't even like mainstream music. I would listen to shit that would be like on there, and be like, this shit just sounds weak, man. It just sounds like no substance. You know what I mean? Like, I'd listen to, it just didn't do it for me, dude. So I wasn't like fitting in with stuff, dude. Like, and tattooing used to be like the island of misfit toys. Like, if you were here in tattooing, I could relate to you. Now I can't relate to most tattooers because a lot of them are like normal people. You know what I mean? Like,
they didn't walk through what most of you had to walk through.
No, most tattooers were on some shit, dude. Yeah. Like, they didn't. This wasn't their first choice what they were gonna do, like with their life and shit. And Larry was a lot rougher, and I felt like good there. I felt comfortable there. I was like, oh, this is cool, man.
You weren't the outcast anymore.
Yeah, well, you're just around other people like that, dude. Right. And then, like I said, even skateboarding wasn't. It wasn't like, it got real popular like way later.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, games. Yeah, that came.
That's how I got into skateboarding.
That came at like the end of my high school, dude. Yeah. So like that all during high school, that was like the weird kid shit. Like, so I didn't, and I wasn't like. I wasn't stoked to go to the bar and watch the football game. It wasn't my thing, dude. Yeah. Like, no diss.
Team sports weren't for you.
No diss towards any of that. I just didn't. It didn't get me amped.
That's me till this day. Like, I mean, I've never been a sports guy. It's been music, skateboarding for me growing up. So I can relate to that piece.
And then just rewind that. Imagine doing that. 10 years before it was cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Exactly. That's what it was, dude. Mm-hmm. And I felt good in like the skateboarding scene because it was people that were like me, dude.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really like getting fucked up when I could skate. You know what I mean? Like, because I was all good. Most I did was like smoke weed and drink a 40 or something. Back when I was skating, so like, oh, I have this thing and I've got these friends and they're good to me, like family. You know what I mean? Like. It's tight, and I have this shop. They sponsor me, and they like give a shit about me, dude. Like, it was to the point that I was so happy with them. Like, the one owner of the shop, she wasn't even like hot, but I thought she was so hot because she was like nice to me, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because she was like kind to me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, most interactions with most people was like what you'd see in like an 80s movie, like a dude in a varsity jacket like mushing you, or like some cheerleader bitch being like, scrub, you dirty scumbag, and I'd be like, yeah, that was it, dude,
Damn.
And like that was like none of the shit that we're into now was cool.
Yeah.
And and then like you're trying to find your way in the world, dude, and like I have ADHD, and that still people didn't really know what that like was back then, kind of. And I didn't like being on the Ritalin and that kind of stuff because I felt all weird and shit, dude. and I just couldn't, like, if I wasn't passionate about it, I could do it. Like, I know I could do it, and I was definitely smart enough to do it, like all that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stay motivated with it.
Yeah, you'd get
for
over
very
it
long,
quick.
dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would just start sabotaging it on purpose because, like, I knew. So, like I said, with the tattooing, I was like, oh yes, dude. Like,
this is it.
I like this, dude. It feels like how skateboarding felt. You know,
That's so cool.
It's a smaller community. Like, it's all on you, whether or not you're gonna make it or not. I don't gotta worry about a whole group, a team, or whatever. I never did good with that. Like, wait, we lost because of Bill? Because Bill fucked up? You know what I mean? He missed the kick. We're fucked now?
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. Fuck Bill, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This dude's a fucking clown, dude. I gotta go home with no trophy because of this guy.
Yeah.
You know, fuck that, dude. So I always like if I grew up here, I would have been like a surfer. You know what I mean? Because it had that same kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I guess that's kind of why there. And then, like, you know, like, there's like a depression that I'm prone to. And I think a lot of it is from, you know, the ADHD type of things, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you feel things real strongly and intensely, dude. And so when you feel negative shit, you feel it like real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing with, like, drugs and stuff is, like, I'd be like, oh, wait a second. So if I drink that or I fucking do this or that, like, I mean, I don't feel like this anymore?
Sign me up. Yeah.
Fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, like, you know the stories. Everything, it works good for a little while, and then, you know, you
just
start
like
fucking
anything
up.
else, yeah.
Yeah, you see it in tattooing all the time, dude.
Right.
You know.
At what point in your career would you say that you started seeing it turn a leaf of, like, okay, I'm successful and I'm growing,
Yeah.
and I'm getting to a point where I want to grow this into, I mean, you own a shop now,
Mhm.
but you know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
at what point in your career would you say that, okay, things started turning a new leaf? The content ideologies that you had,
Yeah.
you know, have been surpassed,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so can you mind walking us through that a little bit?
2010, dude.
Okay.
So Leo over there, my son,
Leo.
his mom was the baddest bitch in the whole fucking area, dude. Like, I'd even tried to kick it to her, and she dissed me. She didn't even look up from her book. She poo-pooed me away, dude. And I remember being like, whoa, Nikki wants to date me, dude, and I'm booked for a couple months, and people want to get my drawings. And then, like, a year and a half later, I started getting published in magazines, like a year later.
Yeah.
Because you'd send your photos, like hard photos, into magazines. And I was like at Barnes & Noble, and I'm looking like, man, maybe they'll print one, dude. And then sure enough, open up, like, oh, fuck.
What? That's so
Sean
cool.
Foy,
man.
Euphoria Inc. You fucking
dude, that's
Roselle, New Jersey, dude. You know?
That's at a
so
time when it was
sick.
special.
Yeah,
bro.
dude. And it was, dude, because there was thousands of people sending their photos in every week. You know what I mean? Like, it had to be cool to get in there, or you had to know somebody, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that, and I was like, oh, shit. And then I remember it was shortly after that, you know, my wife is pregnant with him, or just about to be, and we had this little apartment, and I got a phone call from, what the fucking magazine was it? One of the tattoo magazines. I don't think it's around anymore. I don't know if it was like Skin Art or Tattoo something, but it was one that you get at Barnes & Noble. Like, it was right in there with the shit, and they had hit me up like, yeah, we'd like to do an interview on you, like an 8-page, like a spread about you.
Wow,
And
that's
I was
cool.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Crazy, dude, you know?
That's wild, man.
And yeah, so I'd say that was the time, like 2010.
But you started in 2007, so in 3 years,
Yeah.
that's how much growth
Yeah.
you, bro. That's
Well,
crazy.
that's the thing. Like, so there was some people that worked for me this past year, dude, and I thought that I could teach that thing, that drive thing. It's not possible.
No, you don't teach that.
Either you have it or you don't.
Yep.
And I thought some of these cats had the they had the potential, like artistically, like for sure.
Yeah.
But I started to really realize that, wait a second, there actually is something special about it. But I didn't know that it was something special because all of my friends have it. I'm only around people that are murderers like that, like killers. Like my friend circle is monsters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't even realize it until then. Like that's how it is. Like I was like, I don't even know like what like an average tattooer's day looks like. I've only known these guys for the past 15 years.
Just gunning it.
Yeah,
Like that's
and they're all like on that same mind state. Like they're all like they'll cut their own leg off to continue to do this, dude. You know, like Mike Perry is a maniac like that. Jake Sheffield is spending a month doing ZBrush to construct your fucking tattoo. You know, there's tattoos I've like eaten mushrooms and done paintings just to fucking make sure I got the idea right. Like there's there's a drive, and I've met people in like the fine art world that have that too. The fine art world can get a little,
it's a little different.
It can get a little hoity-toity, but I think the underlying thing is that you have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might be masking it a little bit more with these like ethereal fucking concepts or whatever, but I think ultimately you have that. Like when I met Victor Garcia down there in Miami, I was like, "Oh, you got it. You're nuts about this, dude. Franco down there, you're nuts about this, dude. Dimitri, you seen him? He's nuts, dude.
Bro.
He's crazy with it.
He'll do certain, like he showed me a tattoo. It was a very basic idea. It was a tree.
Yeah.
But this dude just went above and beyond with not only the texture in the tree, but even the background, the sky, the clouds, like things that I didn't even think I would even attempt.
Yeah.
And I'm just like absorbing all of it. I'm like,
it's giving you more to look at the more you just sit there and look at it. That's
because
amazing.
Because he can't not do it, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's
Like
sick.
I was telling him, I was like, I would have
Dude,
I would have never thought about tackling it like this. It's so sick.
Well, that's why when I worked at Workings, I knew that several other artists there, it was a waste of my time to even try to see if I knew that they didn't love it like that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I looked at you, I was like, maybe
Maybe Mike's
he
got
might,
it,
he might fucking.
That's
want
why
it.
I'm
It's like,
straight. That's why I'm around this guy.
But I basically like I called you like gay or something. Like, I was like, yo, dude, like you don't draw, dude. What are you like gay?
I think
something like that. Then like 6 months later, it's in art school, like learning. I was like, oh yes, dude. Like fucking knew it, dude. You know,
well,
like that one wasn't a fucking waste of the energy. You know.
I think when you started working at Workings, you did that guest spot with Mike Perry.
Yeah.
And Mike Perry was like, "Oh yeah, Mike works here. He went to my seminar a couple months back, and I feel like that put me on your good side, bro."
Yeah, it did. Because I was
like, okay,
oh
this guy.
shit. All right, if you had the energy to see that was important enough to at least try to go see about that.
Right.
Because there wasn't anything like that when I was starting. What you could do to learn from someone is you would go get tattooed by them in a place you could see. Like I got this and my neck and all that stuff done at Last Right so I could fucking watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? Wow. And they were, if you're paying them, they were fucking cool, you know? And most of the time, you end up becoming friends with the dude at least a little bit. They'd help you out a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like after I flew to Lithuania to get work from DeMontis back in the day.
DeMontis
Parvenis, yeah. And dude, he helped me out so much, dude. Like I would hit him up on a DM, back in the day, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, man, try this and that, And then, but the real breakout moment was Dimitri Vision, like vouching for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he more or less, like without saying it, basically told, like, because he was on top of the fucking industry. He was and still is my favorite tattooer.
His name holds weight, bro.
It does,
for
dude.
Sure.
And when he, at that time especially, when he basically was, yep, this is my guy. This is who I'm co-signing. He's doing the conventions with me. This is my roll dog. This is who I believe in.
You're Justin Bieber and he's Diddy, bro.
I guess, dude. Yeah. That's a rough one, dude. I'm gonna tell D that you called him fucking Diddy, man. But
he's co-signing you, bro.
Yeah. But more or less, that was it, dude. And that was like the big push, you know, and I pretty much roll with him. But we had an interesting group of friends too. So there was that dude E Diablo, Edgar Marquez. He was a real good friend of mine, and he would, man, talk about, to this day. I haven't kicked it with him since before COVID, but I doubt anything's changed with his work ethic and his passion for art, dude. You know, like being around that dude, and you know, the amount of like himself and his effort that he was pouring into everything, and the studying he was doing, and how serious he would take it. And
he's sorry to interrupt you. He's the one you told me that went to school, right?
Yeah, he went back to school.
You showed me his
drawings.
drawings,
he went
bro.
back to school. Yeah, his drawings are nuts, dude.
Yeah, dude. This dude was doing some of the sickest charcoal drawings, bro. And he was like,
bro.
to me, it looked like throwing in like figurative work, but he would throw in like kind of like biomech type shit, dude, like with texture in it, bro.
Man,
it was beautiful.
So fucking
beautiful,
cool,
bro.
Dude. Yeah.
What at what point did you you know, as your career, did you feel the like confident to do seminars and feel like you had it in you to, okay, I want to talk about what I'm doing, teach people?
In 2020, I did a free seminar at my studio when we were in Delaware, and I felt like everybody's seminars was a lot of like, well, I use a 7 mag for this, and I use a 3-liner for that, and I print my shit out on this fucking paper, and it's like, that doesn't matter, dude. None of that shit matters, dude. Like, anyone I've ever talked to that I've admired their work, we don't talk about any of that. Like, it does. I don't care what fucking machine you're running. It doesn't matter.
You already know
like,
it.
You know what I mean? It doesn't. And I probably see it on the internet anyway. It's like, oh, you use fucking this one, yeah, whatever. But it doesn't matter. Like, your top 5 favorite tattooers probably all use different shit. It doesn't matter. Even if they do the same kind of shit, you know, they're still using different shit, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter too much. So like, do you give a shit what paintbrushes your favorite painter's using? No, you don't fucking.
Are they
care,
horsehair?
dude. You don't fucking care.
Dude,
You care about how you're throwing down that stroke, dude, right? So I felt like there was this. Oh shit! I got spray paint all over me. Good, but I felt like there was this thing that nobody's talking about, and it was like, how do you get into finding your own style and your own voice and this kind of thing. And I pretty much made a small seminar like about that. And at that time I was doing a lot of the black and gray with like the glowing shit, the glowing pops or whatever. And I was explaining the theory of it, like, you know, I got the idea of it from seeing like Japanese stuff, because there's all those super dark wind bars, and all this dark shit, and the sky sleeve looks like almost black until they do the color session, right? So that, you know, you'd get it lined, and then you'd get the black wind bars, and then some little gray in the water or whatever, and then the koi fish would have like 2 oranges, but it looked so bright. And the reason it looked bright is because it's on the black background, you know? And I was like, oh, shit, I think that you can make a tattoo look like that if you really build up the darks in the right spot. And, I went for it. I explained that a little bit. And then I also, like, the main part of it was, like, me being, you know, telling people, like, look, man, stop looking at other tattoos. Like, you're wasting your time. You're gonna always look like a fucking masturbation of somebody else, dude. Yeah, like, you're gonna always look like a poor man's version of whoever. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanna do your thing, yes, like, dude, definitely study the guys that you like. You know what I mean? Do some, you know, even draw some of their tattoos. You know, see if you can draw it, right? But don't put that out as your work. That's a study, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I used to draw Robert Hernandez tattoos all the time, because he would master these expressions on the face. And at that time, there wasn't no references on Google of some weird, strange smirk in this exaggerated fucking, you know, it wasn't available. So you'd draw Robert, but I wouldn't tattoo that shit, you know, on somebody else. But, and I brought up the thing, it's like, you got to look in the mirror, like, who am I really? Like, what is the things that are true about me? like what are the influences that are true, and like I thought about like what do I really like, and what made me want to draw as a kid, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like old sci-fi movies, hence the glowing shit, because there's no CGI. They'd always put like a green light from over here or something, or Terminator, the one red glowing eye, or Alien, the movie Aliens, all that blue backlighting, that secondary light source with that. And then like comics, but not like Superman and shit. I was reading the Image comics, so it was like Spawn and the Max and all these kind of shit. And they were really cool artists, but I remember seeing some of that shit.
The colorway in those comics were insane.
It's sick, dude.
Insane.
And and then there was the graffiti shit. You know what I mean? Was another big part of it. So I did a. I really was like sat and thought like, what's a way that I can put these things into a style that could be true? Do you know? Because like
that's where you currently are right now in your career. Right?
Yeah, it's well. There's some stuff I'm working on right now that I'm going to be spending the whole next year on to try to really get it out.
Because we had talked about it, and you brought up some of those things that you were like, dude, there's only a handful of artists I'm going to look at.
Only 5.
Yeah, and
there's
you were
only
like
5 I'm going to look at
and
this
you were
next
like,
year. Dude.
And he's like showing me all these references that were like inspiring him, and it was all that like 80s kind of like sci-fi stuff.
It's like that stuff.
That's really exciting to hear about.
Yeah,
and even dude, I'm grateful that you're even explaining to us your mindset on how you're going to get there too, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that's a lot of things like for example, dude, when we just did that Orlando show together, right? The if you walked up and down those rows, right, and look, everybody there was pretty fucking good tattooer, right? Like there was really good quality tattoos going on there, right? But did you see anything different than a lady face with some weird shit going on?
Yeah, dude, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right, bro.
You're absolutely right.
I'm pretty much going to try to not design anything with a bitch's face. Like for real, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me and Dimitri joked about it the other day when we were hunting and shit, and he was like, if you want to stand out, you just don't do lady face. And I was like, yeah, it's true, dude. If you tattoo anything except a hot chick's face, you're gonna be like, oh shit, what's that? Is that a heart? Is that a fucking sword? What the fuck? Cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's gotten that deep. Like it really. And I had noticed it when I was there, and I was like, damn. Because I'm like, wow, these tattoos are really good, you know?
Yeah.
Like there was a chick in my row down the way, and she had the whole thing going on. Like she was a very beautiful girl. She was doing this super beautiful girl face with like, probably mid-journeyed with some sick light source and something underneath it. And then there was like a Russian kid next to me, a Ukrainian kid, and he was doing some really cool shit. There's another Spanish kid over here, Colombian kid or something. And but when it was the same tattoo, man.
Yeah.
They were killing it. I mean, look, like I'm talking about perfect execution, dude.
Yeah.
Amazing. But when I really sat and thought about it, I was like, man, they were all doing the same tattoo, we went so far to end up right back where we're at, kind of just doing advanced versions of Flash,
of everybody else's tattoos.
Yes, dude. You
and
know
it is
what
true.
I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, how many
man.
people have
I don't
the
mean
Rock
to
of
be
Ages on them? That's I think a perfect example.
Yeah, correct. Dude,
yeah,
correct. So I feel like we got like back to that, and like man, like look, in the current like world, I'm really happy that I like. All right, so for the next year, I really want to try to. I'm very pleased that I can do all different kinds of tattoos, and I will do all different kinds of tattoos. Like I'm happy I can do realism. I'm happy that I can do all different kinds of stuff, and I can definitely give all my clients like what they want and do a good job. But at the same time, I feel like a serious obligation to myself and to this industry to try to, because I'm 41 years old, dude. What I got 10 years left.
Dude, you look great.
I'm trying. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
3 kids, bro.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying, right? So, you figure I got maybe 10 years left, right, dude? And we've reached this point where tattooing, it's amazing, dude. Like, everybody's good. But now it's also at a point where we have to start doing something.
And you're the one to do it, bro.
That's gonna mean something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's beyond just clout and numbers and all. Like, I gotta go for it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I have some really cool ideas and stuff, and I'll probably make a whole bunch of pre-mades, and I'll do those probably for a little bit of a hookup too. You know, here's one I just started fucking with today.
When you say pre-made, you're talking about like prints and stuff, or pre-made?
No,
designs?
like a pre-made design.
Gotcha,
you know what I mean? Because some of these things are so out there to try to describe, right? When you see it, you're like, oh, yes, totally get it, but trying to describe that to somebody without being able to show them, it ain't gonna work, dude.
And it's a piece that you're super stoked on, and who else outside of you is gonna think of something like that?
Probably not really anybody.
Dude, and his stencils, sometimes he'll, they're very minimal, and, he'll do freehand some stuff, and it's hard to tell what direction he's going in. But when you see it at the end, you're just like, I wouldn't have treated it that way. I wouldn't have seen it. So it's like, I also think it's admirable, bro, especially as someone who is trying to venture out from what I do, that you got to the point that you're at, that you're doing some of the most abstract, craziest concepts, bro.
Thank you,
that is admirable, bro.
The way I see it, you have a legacy mindset, man.
I want to, dude. Yeah.
And it sounds like you already do, man. And you're so humble about it. It's so cool to hear.
Oh, thank you, dude.
No, for sure. And when you're done, when all is said and done, in your time in the career, whenever you decide that is, it is, I think, needless to say, you're going to leave
I can't wait to see, dude.
A huge mark in this industry.
Well, I'm blessed to have gotten in when I did, and to have came up when I did, and go as hard as I did when I did, because people listen when I talk now sometimes, in the tattoo community. Even the younger kids, they might not know who I am or something, but their other homie going, oh, no, chill, I know who that dude is. He's not capping, listen to him. You know what I mean? And I do have I have a reputation through lots of scummy shit when I was all fucked up and everything, but I never have a reputation for not trying to do something worthwhile, and never fucking people over for money or anything like that. I have a reputation for that. I love this, dude.
That's good.
And I want it to go out like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like I said, I'm more than happy to really hook up whatever my clients want, dude. I have some great clients. I'm really happy with it. But I also have this other thing in me that now we're in the phase where this is undeniably a serious, reputable art form, dude.
Yeah.
I've been handed a platform in it. I have commercial backing in it. And for me to not try to take it as seriously as the painting masters I look up to and leave that thing behind, or create a catalog of work that's motivating for the next kid that was me back in 2007, looking through magazines, trying to find that spark, when I saw Robert Hernandez's work or Nick Baxter's work, or where I was like, fuck those dudes. They're pouring themselves into it, and you could see it, you could feel it, you wanted it, dude.
Yeah.
For me to just ride out slow into the sunset, I can't do that, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every tattoo has to be the best that I can do.
You're all or nothing, man.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
Or else I won't do it if I can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's always a super bummer if something doesn't work out like that. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Because obviously everything can't be a home run. There's skin and clients that aren't desirable all the time, and skin texture that ain't desirable all the time, or whatever, right? You know what I mean? But I have to do it, man. And it's interesting too because I'm not from out here, and I didn't have a big clientele base out here. So like it's almost like I have to prove myself again to all these Florida fuckers, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like up north, I could walk into a shop with my cock hanging out, one fucking flip flop on, dude, tattooing next to a fucking dumpster, and I'd be
Sean Foy.
I'd have been booked. They all knew me. They don't question me on the fucking design. Everyone knows, like, oh, dude, like 8 of my family members got sleeves by Sean. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Here, they don't trust me. They don't know me.
Probably,
you know?
Wow.
Probably even better for your career that's the case.
It's harder and it's been humbling for sure, dude.
Yeah.
You know, but what it is making me do, and you'll see when I try drawing this iPad later, I'm not that good at drawing digitally. Like I'm just not that. I brought a backup sketchbook just in case I start failing.
I
real
love that,
bad.
dude.
Yeah.
I love
But,
that. I see everyone with an iPad now.
Well, I mean, it's
offense.
the standard now.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah,
sure.
and I mean like so like up north, I could make some sketchy shit and show it, or even in California, they knew me out there. I could like show them some shit and like, oh yeah, I know Sean's work. You know, it's gonna be cool. I already know. Out here, they're like, I don't know you, fool. You know what I mean? I don't believe you, dude. You know,
Dude, yeah.
And then all the clients in Florida are so fucking traumatized, dude, because they've been beat over the head by some greedy fuck who just wants to do the tattoo as quick and shitty as possible, dude. Yeah. And they want to charge like the same rate as me and try to do half the work. You know what I mean? Like people have like this visceral reaction to trust here, and I understand why, dude.
Yeah.
It, you know, we won't name any names, but you know who exactly I'm talking about, dude. Raped the game for everything that he could, dude. You know, like having 1 million apprentices, banging all of them, dude. Tattooing as fast as you can for as much money as you can. That's the reason why a lot of the Florida clients are the way that they are, dude.
Yeah.
They've only known dudes like that. They've never met a fucking dude like Dimitri or me that like stays up all night thinking about how we can innovate something and push something to the next fucking level for these people, dude. You know, like they've never met a motherfucker that goes hard on a tree tattoo. Do you know what I'm saying, dude?
Tree tattoo
they don't
I've ever
fucking,
seen.
you know what I'm saying, dude? Like they don't even know that shit, dude. Yeah. And it's kind of cool because it's like a new challenge, man. You know, like and it works, you know, like when I would go down to Miami when we first started coming here, all those dudes at Victor's shop picked up on it real quick. They're like, oh shit, word, son, you're just about to, you just did a graphite study for this and you're going to freehand it on based off of that. And it's going to be in color.
Man,
you know, and they're like sitting down watching. You're like, oh, what the fuck, dude? You know? Yeah. All right. You know what I mean? It's cool. And then the clients saw that and they were like, trust them. Yeah. I'm good. They don't even speak English. They trust me, dude. Right. You know what I mean? But like up here, I haven't had a chance. There's no shop like that for me to go work in where you like establish my shop is it. You know what I mean? Where you like establish the where you can go where it's established and people will see you there and be like, oh, yep, he's definitely. There's no shop like that in Orlando. There's no shop like that. I can't even think of one in Tampa. There's lots of great people. Yeah. But like, what's the only established like shop that's known like that here is like Mike's shop. But I don't do Pokemon, dude.
Yeah.
So
Sad Fam definitely.
You know, like I don't do that.
It is
shit,
an anime shop. Yeah.
It's
the anime shop? Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I was just gonna ask. Like, was that the catalyst for you opening Dark Moon?
Listen, well, there was no one I could. I didn't want to do this shit again. It's my 3rd tattoo shop, man. I don't want to do this shit again, dude. But I was like, look, man, nobody else is doing it. I'm unsatisfied everywhere I'm going. You know, like at War Kings, listen, I loved everybody, dude, but nobody was going home and drawing at night. Nobody was going and taking classes and painting.
Because it's
everybody was way more concerned about like how cool their car was and this kind of shit.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Or like having the picture at the club or what. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like I only care about my children, my wife, and this, dude.
That's awesome.
That's it, dude.
I love that.
You know what I mean? And I wish there was a way that I could like broadcast the far, like, look, I give a shit about you guys, dude.
Not
like
to it, true to it.
Yeah, no, I wish I could just like airdrop how much I believe into these clients so they would understand. Like, I care about this more than fucking you do, dude. like more than you do.
Yeah.
Like I give a shit about this tattoo. I was having peaking anxiety on the way here because I want this to be so fucking good.
That's
you know
awesome,
what I
man.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I wasn't running into anybody like that. The only place I ran into it in this whole fucking state was when I would go visit Victor and them. That was it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The only place where I felt like, oh yeah, Enzo's got that. Like Franco definitely had it. He's going home. He's painting. Victor was, he was just working fucking hard, super fucking efficient. Like he gave a shit about it,
Mm-hmm.
And when I came out here to Orlando, I'm like, well, I was like, I'll get in with a shop, where they're like bonded like this.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, and it'll be all good, I'll be straight. Like it'll be just like going to work at Love Machine or something, like. And then I was like, it really isn't that, dude. Like there's individuals that are super killer, like Lara is super killer. Mike in his field, couple guys doing some portraits and stuff, really killer. Lots of anime dudes doing really killer shit, but there's not.
Well, it's gone to the point where they're all replicating each other.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are, dude.
Like one guy really did a good job. And set the standard
No diss or anything, dude.
Yeah.
Like everyone's doing great work, man.
Right.
And like you said, like their execution
perfect,
is good.
dude.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
But you want to pioneer and push forward that mentality of like
I
originality.
almost feel like I'm gonna cry, dog, because like I just like I didn't realize how much I was surrounded by people like that until I wasn't. Do you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
dude? Like I really was fortunate, dude. Like the last couple shops I've worked at, it's like with Dennis Sivak and Dimitri and Bobby Caparo and fucking, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I'm working with Brandon Herrera and TJ Poole for the week. Fucking killers, dude.
Right.
But they were just, and I didn't even know that other people weren't like that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know that there was motherfuckers that for real just came to work like this is a job.
Yeah.
Like this is some shit I clock in and I go home. I'm like,
Right.
what? You're leaving? It's 9 o'clock. You're not even fucking done. What are you doing?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, where you're going where? You're going to the bar? You have a sketch pad with you, dude? No. What the fuck are you doing, dude?
Mm-hmm.
I would be at a strip club with a sketch pad, dude. I swear to God, that's
Telling these
happened,
bitches
dude.
to hold on,
that's
dude.
fucking happened, dude.
Yeah.
I've been at a strip club with Brandon Herrera with fucking sketch pads, dude.
That's
Hold it there.
Yeah. No, I wasn't drawing them, but you know what I mean? I'm not that good at female anatomy to be doing it publicly like that, right?
that's funny.
But like there's been shit like that,
Yeah.
dude. You know what I mean?
That's
Or like
awesome,
there's
man.
even when I was on all those drugs and shit, dude, I was still fucking drawing like this, dude,
That's so cool
Like
to hear
the,
how fiery that passion is, man.
Yeah, but and like I said, it's really unfortunate about here is it's the first place I've been to where people want tattoos. They're employed. The culture is tattoo heavy down here, and then it's the only place I've been to where everything is set up for there to be success, right?
Yeah.
Everything is set up for someone to have passion and to blow up down here, but it doesn't happen.
Right.
And then and there's these strange things too. Like there's a Miami look of the tattoos. Like I'll see a tattoo, Cuban dude from Miami.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, oh, that's a blue-haired guy from Orlando.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that guy's vegan and he lives in Orlando and that's the kind of tattoos that he does.
He's
dude.
got anime tattoos.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if I see some really dope like neo trad, I'm like either South Florida or Tampa.
Right.
That's what I'm seeing, dude.
Yeah.
Man.
Jacksonville, it's probably black and gray.
It's so interesting.
You know what I
dude.
mean?
Like Sean's been tattooing so long, he just pick up on something like that, bro.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
I
awesome,
immediately
bro.
read the room and like, and I think that's why I don't even draw that many clients from Orlando, dude.
Right.
Like I really don't because
Yeah, Orlando didn't really, according to you, it didn't work out too well for you, huh?
Well, no, it's just like I think it's just I'm doing stuff. Everything here falls into a niche.
Yeah.
And I don't think people feel comfortable going outside.
I just
of
think
those
it hasn't
niches,
been.
dude.
I'm guilty of that.
People haven't been exposed to it, dude.
Yeah.
People just. I feel
But,
like that's
people
what
would
you're
see
doing.
what
dude.
I'm doing, and they
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh, I don't know, dude." Like, because it's all very safe shit here.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's like a black and gray portrait of this rapper.
Yeah.
It's a standard,
Sports
bro.
team guy,
Yeah, it's a
or
standard,
it's
I don't
whatever
stray from American traditional.
Yeah.
Like that's just like.
But
me
that's a whole
personally,
nother
like,
thing.
He's
That's
a slut for that
classic-
style, bro.
No, listen, I'll never ever talk shit about that because that is where it all started from here in
Timeless,
America.
dude.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
Actually, yeah,
No,
dude. Sean has
Fuck
never.
yes,
Sean has
dude.
talked shit about a lot of styles. Never traditional,
You'll never
bro.
hear me talk shit about traditional
Yeah.
or Japanese ever, dude.
Oh,
Fuck
right,
yeah,
right, right.
dude.
Yeah.
Never, dude.
Listen,
that
dude.
deserves the most respect. Dude.
Right. Dude, thank you for coming, dude.
Yeah,
like,
no
I feel
sweat,
like
dog.
we could do this episode could go on.
We could go on for
Probably,
hours.
This
yeah.
has been
Yeah.
one of the smoothest conversations we've ever had, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you, dog. Yeah, no
for
sweat,
coming
bro.
through. I think I just want to close off with this. Like, if there was, you know, from everything you told me about your younger years,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people listening would probably relate to it. You know what I'm
A
saying?
good chance,
and,
yeah.
and you know, this is somebody who yourself who dealt with that and kind of like
Yeah.
found your way out, and you're now. You know, you're married. You have a great relationship with your
Yeah.
wife. Nikki's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
For my time I've been at your shop, dude, like she's so sweet. She'll bring food. Like she's
Yeah.
awesome, you know.
Yeah, she's
so
good.
it's like
she loves me, dude.
Just
They
like
were-
LA.
yeah.
yeah.
Like
She used to be like her.
I'm sure I'm sure anyone who dealt with that similar adolescence childhood that you kind of
Yeah.
had, they might not be able to believe that. Like, what's something not that you would tell anyone else who's listening, but what's something you would say to yourself when you were younger?
Dude, the first thing I would say, dude, is immediately stop giving a shit about whatever is going on in the world. If it makes you happy, draw or whatever, right? And then the other number one thing I would say to keep you away from the drugs and stuff and all that, dude, start taking care of your body. Start working out. Get dopamine hit the right way, dude. You know what I mean?
That's good.
And then a lot of that stuff comes from, you know, you have this beat down confidence, you know? Trust me. Hit the gym hard for 6 months and see if you don't stand up a little straighter. See if chicks don't start talking to you differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See if
Yeah.
people don't start addressing you differently. And then watch how the world opens up for you, dude. Something as simple as that. Just
Yeah.
and how much more energy you have and happier you are and how much that fights away the depression that leads you to, you know what I mean? Leads you to go screw up your life, dude. Yeah, totally. Take care of your health. And I guarantee you that'll solve like 80% of your issues, you know?
Yeah.
Because even when I think about it, like, I started getting heavy into the drugs because I couldn't skate anymore. And I was getting the dopamine from being, how I tattoo is how I was at skating, nonstop, all day,
Yeah.
all I'm thinking about, right?
You had an injury?
Yeah, I blew my knee out really,
Fuck.
really bad, and then I injured again, and it was
Knee
over.
injuries suck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not coming back,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, you're
Not
not
for a
coming
while.
back.
Especially for
Yeah.
skating, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything
my
with the
gosh.
ligaments, you're not. It's gonna be. Or if you have the bread for physical therapy and like you can take it real serious, yeah, for sure. Now with peptides and shit too, dude, I probably would have been straight now, dude. You know, but I'm glad because now I'm a tattooer and that shit's dope too. You know,
You're a
but
monster
yeah, I
now.
would say something like that, dude. You know, like, don't worry about none of that shit. Pour into yourself, and then also like, watch what the fuck you're listening to, dude. Like if you're sitting there listening to Suicide Boys all fucking day, dude, and not working out, like, yeah, you're gonna want to kill yourself. You're gonna want to go get high. I promise you, dude.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, if you go listen to Schoolboy Q's first album on repeat and then don't exercise, you'll have a Percocet problem by the end of the week, dude. You know what I mean?
good. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, look, I still listen to that shit, but in small doses.
Our brains
dude.
are
Yeah.
From a
Sponges,
different
man.
perspective now.
Yeah, you're
dude.
like when you listen to that shit, you're like almost like praying that shit over yourself, dog.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude. And also people that have like addictive personalities are also can be very impressionable by art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Art that they love and they like that can really wrap you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Awesome.
So
That's
if you do
good.
those things, I think you'd be straight.
That's Sean Foy, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazing.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
God bless
much,
you
bro.
guys, dude. Thank you.
Hell yeah, bro.
Mhm.
Cool.
It's been awesome having you, man.
Thank you, bro.
so
I
much for
appreciate
coming.
it, dude. Oh,
seriously.
yeah, no sweat, dude.
I knew this episode was gonna be
It's
sick,
so
dude.
good. Yeah, man. Well, that's a wrap, guys.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to go check on the piss machine.